Coming up on CBS News Channel 5 at 5:30, what Cheyenne police tell us was a failed drug bust deal. Now, 3 people ran, 2 were caught. We've got the latest details.
Plus, a new generation of Cheyenne teens is gearing up to get behind the wheel. We put you in the driver's seat of an advanced course that's taking place right here in the capital city. These stories and more coming up on your station.
From the capital of Wyoming, this is News Channel 5, news at 5:30.
The Cheyenne police tell us it was a thwarted drug deal. It happened uncomfortably close to a church and school. Suspects tried to run from police. Good evening. I'm Anthony Keith.
I'm Amanda Turner. Thanks for joining us. 3 suspects on the run from Cheyenne PD. One of them managed to get away.
Our officers responded to the area after receiving a call about suspicious activity. Initial reports was that it could have been a potential drug deal.
It happened around 11:15 this morning. Cheyenne police responded to a call of suspicious activity off of East Lincoln Way near Hot Springs. Police were on the search for 3 men possibly involved in a drug exchange. 1 man was apprehended and put in handcuffs near 12th and Hot Springs.
A second man was also apprehended near the building formerly known as Goofy's a few blocks away. According to police, the 2 are in custody and they are searching for 1 more male. And we just got word moments ago the 2 arrested. Their names are Andy Lovato and Jacob Garcia. We hope to have more on that tonight at 10. The number of drug charges in Cheyenne has been on the rise in recent years.
And marijuana is topping the charts. In 2012, there were a total of 456 drug charges in Cheyenne. 2 years later, there's been an increase of nearly 200. There were 420 charges related to marijuana last year, only slightly up from 2013.
The drug that carries with it the second most charges in Cheyenne is meth, 104 charges in both 2013 and 2014. Aside from unknown narcotics, prescription drug charges ranked 3rd in 2014 with 47. Well, at this time, we are under a red flag warning with very dry conditions.
That's right. That warning ends at 7 tonight. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler is on the weather deck with our first look at current conditions.
Well, Anthony, Amanda, it's been dry and breezy out here on the Amco-Meineke weather deck this afternoon, but temperatures very seasonal across the viewing area. If we look at our currents here in Cheyenne, we're at 84 degrees. Feels very nice out. A bit warmer down to our south. Fort Collins and Greeley, both coming in at 91. Those winds out there have been the story today, though. We're blowing at 16 miles an hour out of the west-northwest here in the capital city, seeing winds at about 10 to 20 miles an hour across the viewing area. And with the warm and dry conditions and the breezy conditions, that's what's given us that red flag warning until 7 o'clock tonight. So if you're doing any burning, be very careful as fires could spread very quickly. Radar and satellite not showing a whole lot, just some high and mid-level clouds filtering into the viewing area. And as we move through the rest of the evening, we'll continue to see those high and mid-level clouds with winds decreasing. But as we look forward to tomorrow, looks like it's going to be a much different day with some strong showers and thunderstorms possible across the viewing area. I'll have details on that threat coming up in my full forecast later in the show.
Thanks, Bill. A deadly fire at an employee dormitory in Grand Teton National Park is still being investigated.
Faulty wiring or any other type of building failure are being ruled out as potential causes of the blaze. Seasonal employee Anthony Graviano was killed last Friday when the dorm room in the Coulter Bay area caught fire.
Yeah, the Grand Teton family is a very tight-knit family, both between the concessioners and the park. We all feel this loss very hard. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the deceased as well as those that were injured.
4 other people were treated for minor injuries and smoke inhalation.
Military members and their families here in Cheyenne are still on high alert.
Their worries stem from a release allegedly from the FBI claiming that 2 Muslim men have been going to military homes looking for information and using intimidation techniques to get it.
News Channel 5's Catherine Spencer spoke to a combat veteran and is live sharing his concerns.
Tony, we still haven't received any confirmation whether the warning that surfaced yesterday is credible or not, but that's not easing the minds of military members here in Cheyenne.
Robert Wurzner is a combat veteran that lives in Cheyenne and is getting frustrated.
It's something to be concerned about, and that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Wurzner has been researching the validity of the claims of threats against military members and their families in Cheyenne.
We're just trying to find out if it's for real or not, because if it isn't, then we can say, okay, no big deal, we'll stand down. But if it isn't, if it's something we need to be concerned about, yeah, we need to be ready and prepared to defend for ourselves.
This all stems from a release that surfaced Wednesday. At this time, we still can't confirm the authenticity with the FBI. But both the Air National Guard and F.E. Warren have not heard of any claims like this. However, F.E. Warren did put up a Facebook post saying, quote, "Heads up to all federal law enforcement officials recently reported military families in the local area and Colorado were approached at their homes by suspected Middle Eastern males." Police say the best thing to do if someone approaches your house and you become uncomfortable is to call them.
If there's something suspicious or there's people at your house and you don't know the reason, you can always give us a call and we can come out and check it out.
But Wurzner just hopes to help educate his fellow veterans and current military members.
You know, we need to know if we're going to be potentially targeted or not. It's something that we need to really understand.
If you see any suspicious activity similar to these claims, either call the Cheyenne Police Department or call the local FBI office. Their phone number is 307-632-6244. Reporting live in Cheyenne, I'm Catherine Spencer for CBS News Channel 5.
Thank you, Catherine. The Community Action of Laramie County Chairwoman has waived her right to a preliminary hearing in a child abuse case. Emily Larkins was set to appear in court this morning, but will not appear until her trial begins. Larkins was charged last week with 5 counts of child abuse toward a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. 3 of those charges involve physical abuse and 2 are on mental abuse. Larkins is accused of hitting one child repeatedly with a back scratcher and choking the other with a belt. Switching gears, many parents out there know the feeling, a moment of pride and one of worry when their child gets their driver's license.
As News Channel 5's Andrew Hogan reports, some Cheyenne teens took part in what you could call a unique driving course that may help to alleviate some of that stress for parents.
Guys, this morning I had the chance to watch and participate in the Ford Driving Skills for Life event. I got free lessons on hazard recognition, vehicle handling, and distracted and impaired driving. But most importantly, I saw firsthand how essential these skills are in keeping new drivers safe. The Ford Driving Skills for Life has been around since 2003, but this is their first time stopping in Cheyenne.
So we actually take this program all across the country, and we're in 23 countries as well, too.
The goal is to give these student drivers a chance to learn skills they might not pick up in driver's ed. But might just save their life.
It's a step in the learning process beyond what teens learn at driver's ed.
Students and parents learn in a safe and controlled environment, taking rides in Ford Fusion, a Focus, and a Ford Mustang.
Well, when we started the program, it was research-based, and we found that 60% of vehicle crashes fall within 4 key areas, so that's what we focus on. There's vehicle handling, speed and space management, and hazard recognition. And over the years, we actually incorporated impaired and then distracted driving as well, too.
2 major areas contribute to almost all teen accidents in the U.S. Inexperience and distracted or impaired driving.
For me, it was really bad because I kept running over all the cones and everything seemed to like shift to the left.
And this course covered all of that and more.
Pay attention to the road and not to be focused and distracted.
Now, we want to remind all the student drivers and their parents that the Ford Driving Skills program is going on tomorrow as well, and there is still space available. So to sign up, hop on their website at drivingskillsforlife.com.
Thank you, Andy. Well, the debate continues. Who should replace Alexander Hamilton on the $10 bill redesign? A few groups in Wyoming think they know a great fit. The Wyoming Women's Legislature Caucus is encouraging people to rally behind Esther Hobart Morris. She's a familiar name here in Cheyenne. Esther was appointed the nation's first female justice of peace in South Pass City and was an important symbol in women's suffrage. But the State Archive and Historic Governor's Mansion has another name to offer, Nellie Taylor Ross. Now, she was the first female governor in the nation and served as director of the U.S. Mint. And, of course, we want to know who you would pick. You can head on over to our website, KHWN.TV, and vote on our poll. Stay with us. Coming up, what's making news across the nation? We've got a look at national headlines, including how the top 10 GOP presidential hopefuls are feeling as they prepare to step on stage for tonight's debate.
And the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms will return to the region tomorrow. All details on when and where we'll be seeing those in my full forecast on the other side of the break.
Time now for your exclusive forecast.
Well, that's the current view from the KGWN Skycam, looking out over a beautiful August afternoon here in the capital city. Seeing a little bit of filtered sunshine out there on the Skycam, but temperatures warmed up nicely today. 86, the official high, according to the Cheyenne Light Fuel and Power Almanac. That is just a few degrees above 83, our normal high for this time of year. Currently 84, so just a couple degrees cooler than that. Again, seeing some filtered sunshine out there, but winds really the story for the day, as they were breezy, still blowing out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour, gusting up to 28 miles an hour. Combine that with a humidity value of 16%. That's what's giving us our red flag warnings across the viewing area. Temperatures mostly in the 80s across the region, especially as you get further to the east in the Panhandle. 88 in Scottsbluff, as well as Torrington. 78 just to our west in Laramie, and some pretty beautiful weather across much of the tri-state region, seeing a lot of 80s across the entire state. 76 off to our west in Evanston, 72 in Jackson, just down to our south in Denver. They're at 89 degrees. Your radar and satellite composite not showing a whole lot across much of the state. We are seeing some of those mid to high level clouds filtering into the region. If we zoom out, look at the water vapor imagery, we can see a lot of moisture beginning to push our way from an upper level disturbance that's currently just off the California coast. This upper level trough going to continue to push to the east into our area and will be giving us a stormy finish to the week. So here's our setup. This upper level low and this upper level trough going to continue to throw some pieces of energy our direction. Also, as that upper level trough continues to push to the east, it's going to turn our upper level winds from the west to the southwest. That's going to allow that monsoonal moisture to make its way back into the region, so plenty of moisture for storms to work with for the day tomorrow, both in the upper levels and in the lower levels. At the surface here across the viewing area, we're looking for a boundary to really set up from about Chadron further down to the south and west towards Cheyenne. That's where we're expecting storms to fire, is along this boundary, and then further east into the Panhandle. Could see some strong to severe storms tomorrow afternoon. Heavy rain, large hail, and damaging winds will all be possible. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined a marginal risk for eastern Laramie County into the Panhandle, slight risk further to the west across Morrill and Sidney counties in the Panhandle. So if you have any outdoor plans for the day tomorrow, you'll want to stay weather aware. The futurecast for the rest of the evening, though, will stay fairly quiet with those high and mid-level clouds filtering in across the region. I think our futurecast is underdoing our clouds just a bit, as overnight I think we'll stay mostly clear to partly cloudy. Temperatures will be fairly nice, though. 58 the low in Scottsbluff, as well as in Sidney, Nebraska, the overnight low here in Cheyenne. 55 degrees, and off to our west in the high country, upper 40s and lower 50s. For the day tomorrow, we should start off with a good mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon, though. As that moisture begins to make its way into the region, clouds will increase, and then in the afternoon, here comes those showers and thunderstorms. Our futurecast model right now is painting those across the southern Panhandle, but again, from about Cheyenne to Chadron and then further east is where we're going to see that greatest risk for some showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures won't change a whole lot, though. 84 the high here in Cheyenne, upper 80s, lower 90s across the Panhandle, and just off to our west in Laramie, a daytime high of 79 degrees. The extended forecast for Cheyenne, Friday into Saturday, we'll see those rain chances, temperatures in the lower 80s. Sunday, we dry out. Monday, we'll see another quick shot of rain before an upper level ridge begins to build into the region. That will allow temperatures to warm back up into the mid to upper 80s for Cheyenne. Some severe storms are possible for Scottsbluff for the day tomorrow, a high of 90 degrees. Rain chances again on Saturday. Another quick shot of rain on Monday before next week an upper level ridge looks to dry things off and warm us back up.
All right, so highlighting again those red flag warnings too. What do people need to know to
They need to know, basically, if you can put off your burning for another day, do it another day. If you're outside smoking, make sure you put your cigarette butts away in the proper place, because any fire that starts because of the dry and breezy conditions, it will spread very quickly.
Okay, good advice. Thank you.
Don't want to be the cause of a fire.
Nope.
No. Unless you're playing baseball, because we heard action last night on the Diamond. It heated up. Crazy finish last night for the Post 6 boys, now men, after last night's game.
Yes, Tony, how about 11 innings worth on top of 2 hours rain delays last night at Powers Field? I'll tell you how the Sixers fared in extras. Plus, second day of the Northwest Regional Tournament was taking place today. I've got those highlights coming up next in sports.
News Channel 5 Sports.
Welcome into sports. It was a long and wild ride for the Post 6 boys last night. After weather-delayed tournament play earlier in the afternoon, the Sixers didn't take the field until after 9 p.m. last night, but the wait was worth the reward. Post 6 was down 4 in the 11th to Billings. They then scored 5 runs, the last of which came off the bat of Brock Anderson, who scored Lincoln Trujillo for the winning run. Post 6 would win the game 8-7. It ended just after midnight, and now the Sixers will be back at it again tonight at 7:30, taking on the Kennewick Outlaws. Now, the team who the Sixers beat. Billings was in action today. Loser out game against Boise. Bottom five. Billings up 10-3 until Kobe Roberts blooped that one to shallow left. That would score Nolan Jekic, and that would make it 10-4. Then bottom of the sixth, bases loaded jam for Billings. Matt Larson, he'd walk Thomas Haggerty in to bring Gage Yost. Boise cut it to 4 at 10-6 and kept the scoring going as they ended up eliminating Billings by a score of 12-11. Taking a look at the winners bracket after their wins yesterday, Medford, Oregon is taking on Gillette right now from Powers Field. Then barring another rain delay, the Sixers will play Kennewick from Washington tonight at 7:30. And now, as I was talking about the Gillette game, they're taking on Medford right now. Rough Riders down 6-2 in the bottom of the fourth at the moment. We'll have the final results for you tonight in sports. To baseball of the professional variety, and emulating the Post 6 boys, the Rockies had some magic themselves in the 11th inning of their game last night. Trying to steal one from the Mariners, Rocks down one, bottom 9 until Kyle Parker drops this one to right. He'll score Ben Paulson from second, and that would send it to extras, tied at 5. Then bottom of the 11th, Michael McHenry. Hey, this guy looks like Wes Welker to me. I don't know. Is it just me? Who knows? He takes Michael Guupe deep all the way to the Froyo stand in left. Rocks get the much-needed walk-off win, 7-5. Next up for the Rockies, they'll head east to the nation's capital, starting play against the Nationals on Friday. On the mound for the Rockies will be Jorge De La Rosa. He'll be taking on the Nats' Jordan Zimmerman. First pitch is slated for 5:05. That'll do it for sports. More news after this.
Got a story or news tip? Call us at 634-7755.
No reported injuries after a gas line explosion in Weld County, Colorado, just hours ago. The explosion northeast of Greeley. The resulting fire is burning so hot, it's too dangerous for crews to get near it. Crews have already had to back away 2 miles because of the fire's intensity. The Weld County Sheriff's Office says the line likely ruptured when someone was digging a trench on the property. And the candidates are getting ready for the first Republican presidential debate of the campaign. The top 10 candidates will duke it out in prime time in just over an hour now.
Greg Boswell brings us now a look at what some of those candidates are saying as they prepare to grace tonight's stage.
On behalf of the board,
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker opened the Wisconsin State Fair hours before he and 9 other candidates take the stage in the highly anticipated Republican presidential debate. The big draw, Donald Trump. The billionaire's unfiltered style has given him a double-digit lead in the polls.
There's a lot of potential things that could happen.
Sean Spicer is the chief strategist for the Republican National Committee.
Do you see any bigger wild cards than Donald Trump?
Ask me Friday morning.
Senator Rand Paul says he isn't afraid to mix it up on stage, but he'd rather focus on the issues.
I don't think we should just sort of succumb to, oh, well, you can just say anything and, you know, all of a sudden we're in some sort of reality TV show. I think there needs to be a substantive debate.
The debate will last 2 hours. In order to save time, the candidates will not give opening statements.
Because the field is so crowded, the 7 candidates trailing in the polls are having a debate of their own before the main event.
What we're doing right now is having the opportunity to be on a national stage and with a lot of really good qualified people and be able to set yourself apart.
This is the first of several Republican debates before primary voting begins in February. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Cleveland, Ohio.
Again, that primetime event begins tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 our time.
Authorities are learning more about the man who stormed a Tennessee movie theater Wednesday, armed with a pellet gun and a hatchet, before being shot dead by police. As Brian Webb reports, the shooting comes just a week after a gunman opened fire at a movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana, killing 2 people.
Vincente David Montano had been arrested once more than a decade ago before his attack on moviegoers in Antioch.
This individual had an arrest in Murfreesboro in 2004 for assault and resisting arrest.
Officials say the 29-year-old had a history of significant psychiatric issues for which he was committed 4 times. On Wednesday, Montano turned up here during an afternoon showing of the film Mad Max Fury Road and began pepper spraying moviegoers. This 911 caller explains what happened next.
He pulled out a hatchet and started attacking this family, and then he pulled out a gun.
Montano was eventually confronted outside and then shot and killed by a SWAT team. So far, police do not have a motive for the attack. Brian Webb for CBS News.
Officials originally thought the pellet gun the suspect carried was an actual pistol because of its strong resemblance to a semi-automatic pistol. As we hit break, here's a look at today's market report.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
So, Bill, clouds.
Clouds. A little bit of clouds out there, but some really nice temperatures. If we look at our currents, still seeing a lot of 80s out there here in Cheyenne. We're at 82 degrees, 77 just to our west. Laramie through the rest of the evening here in Cheyenne. We'll cool off nicely, see some increasing clouds and decreasing winds.
Some good baseball weather. Post six.
I'm excited to get out there.
Let's go Sixers. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tonight at 10.
From Sony Pictures.